No, Vijay. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I have a headset issue. Now you can hear me, yes?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yes, Vasan.
Okay. Anyone having any doubts? I'm asking in the whatever we discussed in the uh, these classes. Okay, see, till now whatever we discussed, nothing will be tested by anyone because it's just creating the tables, fields, sections, views, dependent fields, or creating a modules. So if you have any doubts, let me know because whatever we are discussing from today, everything will come in the interview. Every topic will come in the interview. Okay. There is a chance that they might ask you in the interview, but whatever we covered till yesterday, nothing will be coming in any of these interviews or nothing like that. But those are very basics, very basic stuff in service now. How to create a table and fields and all. These all are coming under configuration. So please let me know again if you have any doubt. I'll repeat the topic. Okay, that can be anything. But don't ask me again after 10 days or 20 days. Hey, Vijay, I have it out here. All these things. Okay. So no doubts then, right? Yes, no. Okay, chalo. So till now we just covered how to create a table and how to create the fields in the table and how to arrange this layout. Also, how to create the choices. Yes, we created how to create these sections, how to create the views within the table. So how these views are changed. Also, we discussed about the dependent fields. Let's say when the state is Andhra Pradesh, I should see Vizag and Vijayawada only. When the state is Karnataka, I should see only Bangalore and Mysore. So these kind of validations we have done. Also, yesterday we created a child table and we tried to make this no batches table as a parent table, and we discussed what is the criteria we need to do in order to qualify as a parent. We need to go to the table of the parent, go to control section, check the extensible checkbox to true. Also, we are discussing about how to make this auto number. Can anyone tell me how can I give an auto number for any table? What should I do?
We have to go to the tables and in the control section, we have to put the auto number.
Yeah. Go to the tables in the control section, check the extensible checkbox to true. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Today we'll discuss an important topic. It's very simple topic also at the same time. But from here only your interview questions will start. The topic is UI policy. UI policies. What this UI policy will do, it is used to make a field. It will be doing only three things actually. Only three things it can do. But before we speak about what it will do, so let's discuss. Like, I want to make this number read only, guys. Okay, I want to make this number read only. I also want to make this description mandatory, and I want to hide this amount paid field. What can we do? According to your knowledge, what we can do? Can you tell me?
Right click on the label and go to the configure dictionary.
We'll right click on this label. We'll go to the configure dictionary. Then let us go. Let it go. Yes. I
We'll
right
check
click on the.
the read only field to
We'll
make it
simply
as a
check the
button.
read only checkbox to make it read only. Read only means see this field is read only. I can't edit this field. This field is also read only. I can't edit this field. I can just see the data inside that field, but I cannot edit. Yeah, since the number is populating auto populated, I want it to be read only. See now it's read only. Yes, no,
Yes, yes,
it's
yes.
read only. I want to make this description mandatory. What we'll do? Again, the same thing. You'll right click on this, go to configure dictionary.
Configuration.
I want to check the mandatory checkbox to true. I'll update it. When you update, you will go to the previous page where you are. That's it. So here I am. Of course, I want to make this amount paid to be hidden. It should not show on the form. So what I'll do?
Same configuration.
Okay, let's see. Configure dictionary. Then
Display.
no, display is meant
Active.
for other purpose, guys. It's not for
Active.
this.
Answer.
No, active means deactivating the field. You're deactivating the field. You're not hiding the field. I just want to remove it from the form. So simply go to right click on this header, configure form layout.
Only
I told you right. In the form layout, we have available selected. Available means these fields are available in the table. When you bring them to the selected, then only they'll display on the form. I'll simply remove the amount paid. Yes,
Yes.
this is what we do. So to hide a field, unfortunately, we don't have that option in the dictionary. You can deactivate the field though. Deactivating in the sense it won't work. That field doesn't exist actually. Okay. In this way you can do. Yes. No. But let's say, for example, let's consider an example. I want to operate it based on a condition. Based on a condition, I want to make it shown. This field should be shown based on. Let's say, for example, when the status is um training completed, then only I want to hide this amount paid. Then only I want to make this number read only. Then only I want to make this description mandatory. Is it possible by going to dictionary? Can we add the
Yes.
condition like that?
Yes.
How? Tell me if it is how it is possible. You understood the scenario, right, everyone?
We should keep an dependent field.
No?
yes.
What?
We should keep the amount paid field and number in dependent field.
Let's try. Let's go to number. Let's write configure dictionary. See, if you make it dependent, the data will be dependent, right?
Yes.
Not the you can't control the fields. No, you cannot. See, if you make it dependent, the data will be dependent, not the visibility or not the mandatory or not the read only will not be dependent. Are you getting?
Okay.
No.
Got it.
So in this case, state and city, the data is getting dependent, not on that. But I like the way you're thinking. At least you try to answer that. Okay. So using a condition, you cannot make this number read only. See, when the I think everyone understood the scenario. What I'm saying. Let's say when the status is training completed, then only I want to make this number read only. Then only I want to make this description mandatory. Then only I want to hide this amount paid fee. Yes. Only when the user selects that status as training completed. Then only I want these things to be happening like this. Okay. In that case, we can't do it via dictionary. Okay. Clear? Yes. No.
Clear.
Okay.
So in that case, we have a concept known as UI policy. UI policy. So why we use this UI policy? UI policy it is used to make a field mandatory. I hope everyone understood what is mandatory. I just showed you description is mandatory. Without filling that field, you cannot save the form or update the form. Okay, that is mandatory. Read only or visible. So using a concept known as UI policy. Okay, if someone asks you from now, whatever topic I'm telling you, first you understand what we can do from that topic. What is the use of the topic? You need to be able to understand. See, most of the interviews you will be thinking, okay, they'll be asking high end stuff and all. They'll be asking what the topic will do. Simple. If there is a new topic known as ACL. You don't know what it will do. At least you should know what it will do first. Then you try to do one exercise and try to remember one example in that topic. Okay. In this way, maximum our interviews will be cleared. Okay. UI policy. In this case, UI policy is a topic. What it will do? UI policy is one of the platform basics in service now. What it will do? It is used to make a field mandatory, read only, and visible. What do you mean by mandatory and read only and visible? I just showed you, but in case if you are still not clear what is mandatory, what is read only, and what is visible, let me go to the incident form. I'll open one of the incident record. So in this case, you can see short description is a mandatory field, caller is a mandatory field. So wherever you see this star mark next to the field, you can say it's a mandatory field. See, for example, if I'm trying to save the form now, it won't allow me to save. Why? Because it's a mandatory field and it should be filled in. We should fill the data in this field. This will call it as mandatory. Is it clear, everyone, what is mandatory? No.
Yes,
Yes,
Vijay.
yes.
Clear.
And this is read only. Priority is read only. Read only means I can just see the data, whereas I can't edit the data. What is there inside that field, I can't control. I can't edit. I can just read it. That's why I call it as read only. Okay. Yes. No.
Yes, Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
Arey, yaar, everyone is sleeping or what? Are you guys sleeping?
No, 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 we are
No.
listening.
No.
Yeah. Now you see, when the state is not running, not on hold, when let's say I'm keeping the state as new. Okay. Now I'm keeping the state as on hold. When I keep the state as on hold, what do you observe?
On hold reason is mandatory.
On hold reason is also appearing and it is mandatory. So the on hold reason is displaying. The on hold reason is shown on the form only when the state is on hold. Okay, and it is also mandatory, of course, right? So this will call it as visibility. Visibility means either you show it or hide it. So in this case, when the state is on hold, then only I'm showing on hold reason. Of course, I'm also making it mandatory together. So then only I'm showing this on hold reason. If it is not on hold, I'm not showing the on hold reason, right? Are you getting? No,
Yes, Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
that is visibility. We'll call.
Yes.
Okay, now using this UI policy concept, UI policy runs on the client side. I'll tell you what exactly I mean by this sentence tomorrow, not today, because tomorrow we'll cover one more topic known as data policy. Then I'll explain you what do I mean UI policy runs on the client side. Okay. But in service now, you can distinguish two ways, like how we distinguish configurations and customizations. In the same way, you can distinguish two things. One is some things, a few things will run on the client side and few things will run on the server side. Okay, few things will run on the client side and few things will run on the server side. I'll tell you what is the difference tomorrow. You'll understand it. But I can tell you today, UI policy is a topic that will run on the client side in service now. Okay. What do you mean by client side? We'll discuss tomorrow because there is a topic. Tomorrow there is one more topic we'll discuss it. So I know we can make this number read only, we can make this description mandatory, and we can make this amount paid hidden. But in order to do all these things, let's use UI policy. Okay, of course we can directly do it from the dictionary level. I agree. I completely agree with that. But let's do it via UI policy. Okay, clear everyone? No.
Clear, Vijay.
Yes.
Yes, Vijay.
Okay.
Let's try to do two scenarios today. One is a simple one, making this number read only, description mandatory, and amount paid hidden. And the third one is based on a condition we'll do. The second scenario. So everyone understood what is the example or what is the scenario we are going to do here. We are going to make this number read only, description mandatory, amount paid. We need to hide this field. Okay? Is the scenario clear, everyone? No.
Yes, Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
Okay. So how do we create a UI policy? So what UI policy will do? Anyone? What is the use of UI policy?
It is used to make field mandatory, read only, and visible.
Yes, only three operations it can do. It is used to make a field, any field within
And
the form, mandatory, read only, and visible. Okay. And it runs on the client side. I'll tell you what do you mean by client side. So type UI policies in the filter navigator. Policies, policies, not policy. Policies. Type UI space policies in the filter navigator. Under system UI menu, go to UI policies module. Okay. When you type UI policies, lot of UI policies will be coming. Under system UI menu, please go to UI policies module. Everyone, it is clear, I hope. Right? No.
yes, Vijay.
So this is the place where every UI policy will be stored in service now, guys. This is the place where every UI policy will be stored in service now. So, in order to create a new UI policy, what should I do?
Click on the new.
Let's
Click on
click
new.
on new, simple. See, this is the beauty of service now. Everything will have the almost same UI, same things it will support. Even you try to create a table, you click on you. Create a module, you click on you. So try to explore yourself more mostly. So the table, what table do I need to give?
Snow batches.
So
Snow
batches.
batches, because AI policy is used to make a field mandatory, read-only, and visible. So in which table I want to make it mandatory, read-only, and visible? In the snow batches table only. So let's select the snow batches table here. Give the table as snow batches. We have a short description. What this short description will do, what you are doing, what you are trying to do in this UI policy, give it in a rough way. Okay, give it in a rough way. Why? This is very important, guys. Trust me. You might take this short description lightly. Actually, you can give it as test and we can continue. Okay, you can continue. Making a field mandatory, read-only, and visible. But don't do these kind of things. Give a proper short description. What you are doing in this UI policy. Why you are creating this UI policy? You need to give a proper short description. Why? Why it is so important? Okay, since no batches is recently created by us, we know there are no UI policies in this. But let's go to UI policies list view and let's consider an incident table. Incident table. I'm giving it as table as incident. Okay. How many UI policies are there? 15 UI policies are there. Okay. There are 15 UI policies. Now let's say, for example, someone is coming to me. Someone is coming to me. In the incident form, there is a validation done. What is that validation? Let's see. Let's see the validation. When the state is on hold, then only I want to show the on hold reason and it is mandated. Okay, we have this validation, right? When the state is selected as on hold, then only on hold reason should be mandatory and it should be visible. Yes, no.
Yes,
This
Vijay.
Yes,
validation is done via UI policy. Okay, this validation is done via UI policy. Now the customer is coming to me and they're telling me, I don't want this validation. Can you please disable this? You understood everyone what I'm trying to say here? We have a
yes, Vijay.
Yes,
validation in the incident form. When the state is selected as on hold, then only on hold reason should be visible and it should be mandatory. Now the customer is coming to me and they're telling, hey, I don't want this validation. Can you disable it for me? Then what will you do? I'll go to the UI policies. I know this is done by a UI policy. I'll filter it with the incident table. There are 15 records. Okay. This is a out of the box instance, so that's why it is 15 records. But trust me, in your practical environment, there will be 45 records or 50 records also. Okay, for a table. In your real time environment, 50 UI policies will be there. Then, using what you'll identify, using the short description only, I need to identify. By seeing the short description itself, you should understand, okay, what we are doing in this UI policy. See, this is the UI policy that is responsible for that. How I came to know? By seeing the short description only, right? When state is on hold, the on hold field is visible and mandatory. Clear? No. By seeing the short
Clear vision.
description itself, I identified what I'm doing. So, which UI policy I need to open? See, you will create a UI policy with your own name like test and all, and you'll go simply. You'll write test and all, and okay, the functionality is working fine. You'll go. You leave the team. Let's imagine you leave that. You left the team. Someone is coming in your place. Someone is replacing you, and they need to do this validation. They need to disable this feature. They need to enhance this feature. Then it will be so confusing that to that person. So the short description, what you are doing in this UI policy is very important. Okay, are you getting it? No, what I'm trying to say here.
Yes, Vijay.
So short description is nothing but what you are doing in this UI policy. You need to tell it in a rough way, in whatever way it's possible. Okay. Okay. Number. You can give it in your own way. It's not necessary you can give it like this only. I won't suggest this method though, because in future there might be telling, okay, make this field also read only, make this field also mandatory, like that. So this will increase the size. You do it in your own way. But What I'm trying to explain here is short description. Many people will take it lightly, but this is equally important. Okay, you should tell what you're doing in this UI policy. You can express it in any way you want. Okay, I given the table, I given the short description. Short description is nothing but what we are doing in this UI policy. You just give a rough idea. Okay, application you ignore because it will be there in everything. Even when we are creating a table, also it is there. I'll tell you in the end. Active. What this active will do? If this active checkbox is checked to true, then only this UI policy will run. If it is deactivated, if it is checked to false, then this UI policy will not run. Okay? Clear everyone? No.
Yes, Vijay.
So we have when to apply. Do we have any condition in this scenario? Guys, do we have any condition in this scenario? What is the condition? Yeah, tell me that condition.
When when is the training is completed, then we it should be
Do
activated.
you hear that scenario properly? That's the reason I am asking you, are you understanding? Are you understanding? Are you understanding or not? And you are simply sitting like that. Is it sleepy? You want the classes to be at 9 to 10? Let me know. I'll take it at 9 to 10. Is there any condition here? There is no condition here. Before I'm coming to the UI policy, also, I told you guys what is the scenario. What is the scenario here? What we are trying to do?
When training is completed, amount paid
When
should
computer
be
amount
Arey
should be
yaar, you
visible.
should go through the
First
recording
scenario, we
again.
are first
The
scenario
number
we
should be
are
read
writing
only,
read only
description should be mandatory, amount paid should be hidden.
this. That's
I taken that as an example to tell you what if there is a condition that is done. After that, again I explain you what we need to do using UI policy. We just need to make this number read only, description mandatory, amount paid hidden. Right?
yes.
Are you getting the scenario or not?
it.
That's
Yes,
the
yes.
reason I'm asking you again, again, again. Are you understanding the scenario? Are you understanding the scenario or not? And you're simply saying yes. Even then, I repeated this scenario. Number should be read only. Description should be mandatory. Amount paid should be hidden. Is the scenario clear? No.
Yes, Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
Tell me what is the
Yes.
scenario now.
Number should
Number
be
should
read
be read
only.
only.
Description should be mandatory. Amount
Amount paid what?
Amount paid visible.
should
I written here also for that purpose only. You're paying attention, I'm not getting. So, is there any condition here?
No condition.
No condition. In this scenario, there is no condition. I told you I'm going to tell you two scenarios without condition and with condition. First scenario will be an easy one without condition. This is what I'm telling you. We'll cover each and every checkbox what you are seeing here, but in the next scenario, not this scenario. Do you find any place to make a field mandatory, read only, and visible here? Do you see any option to make a field mandatory, read only, and visible in this form?
No.
be.
No.
No, you won't see any option. So what you need to do, you need to save the form. When you save the form, what happens? The form will be enlarged. I mean, the form is still here only as of now. Under related link, you can see only default view, and we are in the dead end. As of now, the form is still here. Once you save the form will be enlarged. Clear? No.
Yes, Vijay.
Yes.
Let's save the form. So all you need to do is give the table name, give the short description, and if there is any condition, give that condition. That's it. Okay. In this case, there is no condition. Simply give the table name. In which table you want to make a field mandatory, read only, and visible. Give the table name. Give the short description what you are doing in this UI policy. If there is a condition, give it and save the form. Once you save the form, I save the form now. You see now. Do you find any options to make a field mandatory, read only, and visible?
Your
Yes,
policy
Vijay.
is
Saving
Yes.
this
steps.
UI
your
policy
policy actions.
actions. Now I can find. Yeah. This thing will appear only after saving the form. For the new records, it won't appear, guys. For the new records, which means new forms, it won't appear. You need to save the form, then only you can see this option. Okay? Clear?
Clear.
No.
Yes.
Now what should I do? What clear? I'm not getting on.
Click on
What
new.
should
Click
I
on
do?
new.
Let's click on new. Then what should I do, guys?
You should
You have to select
keep
the field
member
name.
as read only. Description
So what
mandatory.
should I do here? Try to see this form and try to explore by yourself. It will be easy for the
Mandatory
future
field is
coming
a
Select
topics.
the field.
description.
So first of all, select the field name. Select the field.
See, it's self-explanatory here. Pay attention here. Field name. Okay.
Snow
Which
batch.
field I need to select here? Let's select one field known as the number. Let's start with number. Okay, here I can select only snow batches table fields. Why? Because when you are creating this UI policy, we given the table name as snow batches. Clear? No.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
that's the reason I'm giving the field name as number. First, you need to select the field name. Which field you want to make it? I told you it can do only three things: mandatory, read only, and visible. Which field you want to make mandatory or read only or visible? Select that field. Select the operation. I want to make it read only. Okay. So read only to true.
True.
So number should be read only to true. It doesn't mean that okay number should be read only to true. Let's not just don't select visible to false and mandatory false. Leave it alone. Okay, leave alone. Keep mandatory leave alone, visible leave alone. Okay. I'll tell you why it should be leave alone in the next scenario. You'll understand automatically. Okay, in this case, see, let's say you want to make number read only. So select the field, make it read only to true. That's all you need to do. Don't, okay, I need to make it read only to true. Let me make visible false and mandatory false. Don't do that. Don't make visible false or mandatory false. You need to make number read only. Select the field here, make read only to true. That's it. That's all you need to do. Okay. Why it should be leave alone, I'll tell you in the next scenario. Is it clear? No.
Clear. Vijay.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Vijay.
Let's submit. Let's go back here, refresh the page. You should always reload the form whenever you do a change in the client side. Okay. Now, do you see number is read only? No.
Yes. Yes.
Now I want to make this description mandatory. What should I do?
Again go to
Go
UI
back to that
policies.
form. UI policy form.
We need to type UI policy CRUNA.
UI policies.
Can't we adjust here?
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah. Tell me what should I do?
Scroll
Go
down.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Click on new.
New. Click on new.
Okay. Then
Select the field name.
Select the
Select the
field
field
descriptions.
yes.
description,
Description.
Let's select description. Then
Mandatory true.
New
mandatory to
field.
true,
Make it true.
Submit.
and
Submit.
submit.
now let's refresh the page here. It is mandatory. See, if I try to remove this form, if I try to remove the data and if I try to save the form, it won't allow me to save. Okay, clear everyone?
Yes. Yes.
Clear.
Yes,
Sure. Now, I want to hide this amount paid field. What should I do?
Same. Go back to the
Same.
UI policy.
Go scroll down
Scroll
and
down.
click on new.
Click on new.
Then,
Select field name.
select the field name,
Non paid.
what is the field name?
Amount paid.
amount field,
Okay,
Visibility true.
Visible.
what?
visible to
False.
all,
What should I select visible here?
false,
Visibility false.
False. See, mandatory true. Understand the naming convention. Mandatory true means you are making it mandatory. Read only to true means you are making it read only. Okay. Visible true means you are showing it on the form. Visible. Visible means what? The terminology. The English terminology, normal English. Visible means it is showing to you. So visible true means it will show you. Visible false means it will hide the field. Okay. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
yes,
It's okay. If you make mandatory false, if it is already mandatory, it will remove that mandate. So this is how you can, you know, use the UI policy. It will be read only. it will be mandatory. You can't see the amount paid field here. Can you see amount paid here?
No.
Okay. Okay. Any doubts here in the first scenario? Without any condition, we just simply did it. But this is how you create a UI policy. Simply click on new, give the table name, give the short description what you are doing in this UI policy. Active should be true. If it is deactivated, it won't work. I'll show you that also. If there is any condition, give that condition. We'll also discuss these checkboxes, what they are doing. Then we'll simply create a UI policy actions. So why we use UI policy? To make a field mandatory or read only or visible. To perform these three operations only, we'll use UI policies. Clear, everyone? Any
Yeah.
doubts? Yeah. When you say clear, please make sure, because I was also imagining you are understanding the things and I'm continuing. But the way you told me that scenario blew my mind. This is clear, right, everyone?
Yes, Mr. Clear.
Yes, Vijay.
Okay. Now let's consider a scenario. Guys, let me do one thing. I need the amount paid just to show you I hidden that. I'll deactivate that amount paid. Yeah, making all leave alone is you're doing nothing here. That's it. I need that amount paid actually. That's it. Now let's create a new field. I'll create a new field known as on hold reason. Okay, let me create a new field. Then we'll discuss the scenario. This is second scenario we're discussing. Okay, let's create a new field known as on hold reason. This scenario, pay attention. It's important. On hold reason. Let it be a string field. It doesn't matter for me. Let me keep it next to the status field. So in the incident form, I showed you a scenario. If you pay attention, when the state is on hold, then only on hold reason is appearing. Right? Do you remember that? No.
Yes, Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
Let me just show it to you again, if in case anyone not understanding that. Let's open any records. This is an incident form. Here we have a state field. We have an on hold reason field. When the state is selected as on hold, then only on hold reason is visible and it is mandatory, right? I need the same exact same behavior here also. We have a status field. Whenever the status is selected as running on hold, then only this on hold reason should be visible and it should be mandatory. Let's make it only visible as of now. When the status is selected as running on hold, then only this on hold reason should be visible. If it is not selected as running on hold, which means if it is selected as anything else like none, training started, training in progress, training completed, anything you select apart from training on hold, it should be hidden. Clear? Is the scenario clear, everyone? No.
Yes,
Yes,
Vijay.
Vijay. Clear.
Yeah. So can anyone repeat the scenario?
Yeah. Whenever we click on training on hold, only at that time on hold reason should be visible to us.
Okay. If I select let's say none, then what should happen?
It
On
won't
hold
show.
reason should be hidden.
On hold reason will be hidden, disappear in the sense. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So everyone understood that. Let's consider normally if you need to write a code. Okay. What do you write? I'm not asking a perfect code, just a rough idea of a code. What do you write? Normally? A rough
If
idea.
status equals to
Let's say if
status equals to running on hold.
status
Equal to training on
equal
hold.
to training on hold. Training on hold. Then what you'll do? You'll make on hold reason. If this condition satisfies, right? The status
Yes.
is selected as running on hold. What does this mean? If is a condition, guys. If is nothing but a condition. Okay, agree? No. If is
Yes.
nothing but a
Yes.
condition. This condition has only two possibilities. Either it will give true or it will give false. If it gives true, if this condition gives true, which means, can you tell me, is this condition giving true? Is this if condition giving true as per this form?
No.
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 Okay, it is not giving true. Now, can you tell me, is it giving true as per this form?
Yes.
It
Yes.
is giving true because what I'm telling is status is running on hold. If the status is selected as running on hold, then it is giving true. Then if it gives true, then only it will enter into this curly braces. So if it enter into this curly braces, what I'm telling, on hold region should be visible. Okay, chalo. Okay, so will this like, is the logic completed, or do we need to write the logic more? Is the logic completed, guys,
If
or
the
not?
status is not on hold, on
If the
hold
status
reason
is
should
not on
not be
hold, then
visible.
what? What? How
On
do you
hold
write it?
else condition.
Else condition. I'll tell you what this else is. If you don't know also, that's fine. Okay. Then we'll simply make on hold false.
On
On
hold
hold
reason
should be
equals to
hidden.
false.
Hide.
Right.
Okay. So let me explain you what we are doing here. Anyway. So we have an if. See, it's just a rough logic, guys. It's not a code or it's not a script. Don't make the things complicated. So just try to understand a normal way. We have an if, we have an else. In the if, we have the curly braces from here to here. Okay. In the else also, we have a curly braces from here to here. Okay. How it will work? I told you if is a condition. Whatever we given in the if is a condition, right? Agree? No.
Yes.
Whatever you presented in the if is nothing but a condition. In the else, we didn't given the condition. If you pay attention, there is no condition in the else. So in this if, we given a condition. What is the condition?
Status is
Status
equal to
is
on
running
hold.
on hold. Status is running on hold. Okay. If this condition satisfies, what it will return?
On hold reason.
Visible.
It will return true. See, if whatever condition you given here, it has only two possibilities. What I'm highlighting here, whatever I'm highlighting in this break, in this brackets, normal brackets, it is having two possibilities. One is either it will return true or it will return false. Clear? No.
Yes.
Clear.
Yes.
Now you tell me, according to this form, will it return true or it will return false?
It's true.
It will
If it
return true.
returns true, okay, if this if condition returns true, it will enter into this curly braces. If curly braces. Okay, this if curly braces, it will enter. Clear? No.
Yes. Yes.
So in this case, where it will enter? To the if curly braces only, right?
Yes.
So in the if curly braces, what you are telling the system? Make on hold reason visible. Okay, it will do this. So if the status is selected as running on hold, you are telling the system make on hold reason visible. Now, let's say I'm giving training started. Okay, what this if will return?
False.
It's
False.
false.
Because I'm telling the system status is running on hold. But what is status? Training started.
Started.
So it will return false. If it return false, what happens, guys? It won't enter into this if curly braces. It will directly enter into this else curly braces. Okay. See, if it return false, how many scenarios are there in this case to return false? If you select none, if you select training
Training
started,
started.
if you select
Control
training in
plus.
progress, if you select training completed, in all these four cases, it will return false only. So if it return false, it will directly go to the else condition, else curly braces. So if this condition satisfies, do this. If this condition doesn't satisfies, go to else condition. What you are telling in the else condition, hide it. Right? Is the logic clear
Yes.
for everyone? What we are saying?
Yes, Vijay.
Yes.
Yes. See, don't consider it as a code or a script. Okay. Just try to understand that. Now you tell me, will it enter into this if brackets or will it enter into the else bracket according
Else
to this
brackets.
status?
Else.
If it enter into the else bracket, what is the expected behavior? What it is doing in the else bracket?
On hold reason
On
will be
hold.
high.
We are hiding it, right? Cool. Now where it will enter?
If
If bracket.
If.
Okay, because I selected on hold and it will be visible. Yeah, everyone understood this logic then, right?
yes, Vijay.
Yes. Yes.
No, good, very
Yes.
good. Now let's go create a UI policy. Again, please don't forget the scenario. The scenario is when the status is selected as running on hold, then only on hold reason should be visible. Okay. If it is not selected as running on hold, it should not be visible. Okay. Clear?
Yes.
Yes?
Clear.
Okay. Chalo. Let's go to UI policy. Before, let's type UI policies in the filter navigator. UI policies in the filter navigator. Under system UI, let's go to UI policies. under system UI, going to UI policies. Guys, remember one thing, before you create a new UI policy, okay, before you create a new UI policy, always check how many UI policies are there on the table. So on which table we are trying to create a UI policy? On the snow batches table, I am trying to create a UI policy. See if there are any existing UI policies on this snow batches table. Is there any existing UI policy? No.
Yes.
Yes, it exists,
Yes.
right? Just try. Can we fit our UI policy here? Instead of creating a new UI policy, can I fit my requirement here or not? Can I fit it? Can I fit
Yes.
my requirement here when the status is selected as running on hold? Then only I want to show on hold reason. Can I fit that here
Yes,
in
we
this
can.
Yes.
existing UI policy?
Yes.
No, man, we can't fit it here. See, in this case, there is no condition, right? In this case, where to make a number description an amount paid mandatory, to make number read only, amount paid hidden, and description mandatory, there is no condition here, right? But in our case, there is a condition, right? So if you add the condition here, this number and description and amount paid will also act as per that condition. But I don't want any condition here, right? So you should create a new UI policy. Yes or no? Are you
Yes,
getting
yes.
what I'm
Got
saying?
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do one thing. Every time you got a new requirement, every time you got a new requirement, see, I'm trying to also explain you the best practices that is possible for you. You should do in the real time. So every time you got a new requirement, always remember, first you see how many UI policies are there on the table. Try to fit, see, examine all the UI policies. Can we fit this UI policy? Can we fit my requirement in the existing UI policy? Rather than creating a new UI policy, try to see in that way first. Okay. So in this case, I can't fit it because in the previous case we don't have a condition, but now we have a condition, right? So let's try to click on new. Let's click on new. Everyone understanding, right? Why I'm creating a new UI policy instead of fitting the UI policy in the earlier case. I
Yes,
hope everyone
yes, we do.
understood that part.
Yes.
We have a
Can you help
condition.
me? What should I do here? If there is wrong, I'll tell you.
Table we need to
Select the
select
table.
as a small batches.
Table, let's select as no batches. Let's select it as no batches. Short
Short
description.
description.
We
If
need to give what we are writing. So what we can give? Let's write it in a rough way. See, I'm writing it in
status on hold
my way,
training,
what I'm understanding, but uh, it's not necessary. You need to give like this only. User should understand. Training on hold. Then what I need on hold
visible
reason should
on
be
hold.
visible. Let's see. Visible. Something like this. But you can give it in your own way. You can write a sentence. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you tell me, is there any condition here, guys?
Yes.
What?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wait. What is the condition and what is the action? See, in a requirement, you need to understand what is the condition, what is the action. It's very important. What is the condition, what is the action? It's very simple thing, but people will confuse you. See, tell me one thing.
Condition is if
No,
status
no,
equals to training on hold.
no. Let me tell you an example before you tell the condition and action. Because I know majority of the people might tell wrong here. See, imagine there is a light in your room. Okay, that light will on when you on the switch. That light will off when you off the switch. Okay, the light will on when you on the switch. Okay, clear? You understood this?
Yes.
There is a light in your room. When you on the switch, then the light will on. So what is the condition and what is the action here?
When we on,
What is the condition? What is the action? You are telling what I am telling you. In this case, what is the condition and what is the action? That is the sentence which I told you. What is the condition?
here,
If,
if the training on
if,
hold is
No. Wait, forget about this scenario. What I'm saying to you, imagine there is a light in your room. When I on the switch, then only the light will on. So in this whole scenario which I told you, what is the condition and what is the action?
Which is the condition?
Owning the switch is a condition, not switch. Owning the switch is a condition. After owning the switch, what is the action? Light is getting on.
light is getting
That
on.
is the action, right? Get The light is on, the light on, that is the action. Turning on the switch, on the switch is a condition, right? Now, in this case, tell me the scenario. What is our scenario first?
When the status equals to training on hold,
Uh,
then the on hold region should be visible. If
then the
not,
on hold region should be visible. When the status is selected as training on hold, then on hold region should be visible. Now you tell me what is the condition. Don't tell me the action. Only what is the condition you tell me.
if the status
If
is
status
training
equal
on
to
hold,
on hold.
Training on hold. Okay, that is the condition. Okay, remember, everyone, please write. It's very basic, guys. I know few people confused between condition and action. So please understand what is the condition here, what is the action here. The condition is when the status is selected as training on hold. That is the condition. If this condition satisfies, on hold region should be visible. Okay, if it doesn't satisfies, it should be hidden. That is what we written here. So let's come back here. We given the table, we given the short description. Can we add the condition then?
Yes.
So
Yes.
in this field, choose field,
useful.
whatever table you have selected here, that table fields you can choose here. Okay, we selected snow batches table, so I can choose the snow batches table fields. See this form and tell me what is the condition. What should I select here?
Status.
Only status. See, this is a field. Status is a field. I'm selecting status. What about these two?
If this
Is
is
equal to
is
us.
Is
Training on hold.
Training on hold.
training on hold. Okay, everyone understood this, right?
Yes.
So
is
what you are telling to the system in the snow batches table, when the status is selected as training on hold, then you execute the below part. I can't see to make a field mandatory, read only, and visible. What should I do
First,
here?
first we need to save it.
Please save the form, please, because many of the people will forget this point and they'll come back to me again. You need to save the form. Remember that. Okay. See, it's simple concept. I know, but you need to understand. That's the reason I'm explaining it for 1 hour. Okay. When the table is selected as snow batches, and in the snow batches table, whenever the status is selected as running on hold, then what should we do, guys?
Click on new.
we
Yeah,
can
when the status is selected as running on hold, then which field it is?
Field name.
Click
On
amount
hold field.
On
amount
hold
field
region should be what?
Visible false.
visible
visible.
glucose false.
True. Make it
Visible
Okay.
true. It should show. I should show the field, right? Not hide the field. No. Yes. See,
Yes.
when the status is selected as running on hold, I need to show the field, right? No.
Yes.
It
yes,
should be
Yes.
yes.
visible true. Let's submit it.
Submit.
Okay. Now let's go back to our snow batches table. See, understand. On the snow batches table, when the status is selected as running on hold region should be visible. Okay. Let's go here, refresh the page. Okay. Now let me select the status as training started. Can you see on hold region now?
No.
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 Let me select the status as training on hold. Now,
We are able
Yeah,
to see.
we can see it.
is it working as expected?
Yes.
Yes,
Let's
Vijay.
also do one thing. Let's also make it mandatory. Okay. So you can also make it mandatory from here, or you can open this and you can do it. Okay, let me open it so that you won't confuse. Let me also make it mandatory. So what
No.
happens? It will also become mandatory and it will also become visible. That's it. Okay, clear, guys.
Clear.
Now
Yes.
Yes.
let's go here, refresh the page. See, now it won't be visible, right?
Yes.
When I select training on hold, then only it is visible. Yes.
Yes.
So do you guys understood this?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Vijay.
Yes.
Everyone understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Vijay.
You sure everyone understood this?
Yes, Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
Guys, you should not understand. If you really understood the scenario, you should not understand actually. If you really understood the scenario, what I told you here, you should not understand. Right? Reason why? What I'm telling to the system here, pay attention. You see this? You see this logic? What we did in our UI policy, let me also make it mandatory. Mandatory. Okay? Because we made it mandatory. Uh, not
Here we didn't give the else condition.
1 second. Just 1 second. Everyone is saying yes, yes, yes. I just confused now. See, in the UI policy, we executed only if. We didn't execute the else. That's the
Yes.
reason I told you this logic. If you pay attention in the UI policy, come to UI policy. What is the see? Whatever we given in the if is a condition. Status is running on hold. That is what we given here, right? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Status is running on hold. That is what I given here. And what I'm doing, on hold decision should be mandatory and it should be visible. That is what I'm doing. So what you are telling to the system, if the status is running on hold, pay attention now. See, what you are telling to the system according to this UI policy, let's match this condition. When the status is running on hold, I'm selecting the status as running on hold. Then what you are telling to the system,
It
make
should be
on hold
visible.
reason mandatory and visible. That is doing. That part it is doing, right?
Yes.
But that is what I written in the if. That is what I'm doing in the UI policy. But I didn't told the system about the else condition. If it is not selected as running on hold, make that mandatory false and make that visible also false. I didn't told the system actually. This else part I'm not doing in the UI policy. Am I doing it anywhere? Make
No.
mandatory false and visible false. Am I doing
No.
it? No.
No.
So that's the reason I asked you. Everyone understood it or not? Okay. So that's the reason I told you this logic also. Or else I wouldn't have told this. Okay. So the else part is automatically taken care. Everyone understood what is the issue here or no?
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah. Everyone. Or you want me to repeat? Let me know if you
Vijay,
didn't understood.
wonder. So every time it will automatically take the else part, or is it only
Yeah,
for
I'll
this?
tell you which part is controlling that. We'll discuss that only now. But you understood the issue, right? That
Yes.
else
Yes.
part, how
Yeah.
we didn't given the else part and how it is executed.
Um,
Okay, who asked me every time it will?
Swahili.
Okay, 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 no problem. See, that part is controlled by this checkbox. Every time it will automatically control the else part. So first we'll do one thing. Can anyone read this loud and clear?
Reverse the
Reverse the.
effects of the UI policy actions. The conditions are evaluated.
Okay. Let's try to break down this sentence and let's try to understand what does this mean actually. Okay. Reverse the effects of UI policy actions. Forget about this whole thing. What are UI policy actions? Let's try to understand. What is UI policy action?
The
Okay.
thing we are creating.
So these are UI policy actions. UI policy actions are nothing but mandatory, read only, and visible. Okay. Clear everyone?
Clear.
Yes, sir.
UI policy actions are nothing but mandatory, read only, and visible. These three are known as UI policy actions. I hope everyone it is clear what is UI policy actions. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And what it is telling, reverse the effects of UI policy actions. Please understand this. Reverse the effects of UI policy actions. What do you mean by reverse the effects of UI policy actions? If it is mandatory true, make it mandatory false. If it is visible true, make it visible false. Are you getting?
Yes, Vijay.
Yes.
Reverse
Yes.
means that only, no.
Yeah.
See, what is the reverse of true? False only, right?
False.
Opposite we should say, but yeah,
False.
consider it as opposite. Reverse the effects of UI policy actions, which means if it is mandatory true, make it mandatory false. If it is visible true, make it visible false. If it is visible false, make it visible true. Because for false also the opposite is true, right?
Yes.
Yes.
If it is mandatory false, make it mandatory true. But if it is leave alone, don't touch it. That's the reason in the first scenario I told you, whatever you want to make it mandatory, you do that. Don't touch the other things. So if it is leave alone, there is no reverse actually there. Okay, only for true. If it is true, it will make it false. If it is false, it will make it true. Okay. Leave alone means it won't touch it. Now, reverse the effects of UI policy actions, which means we just understood. UI policy actions are these. Reversing means if we given it as true, it will make it as false. It won't show to our eyes actually. It will happen in the back end using some codes. Even I don't know. So Vishnu has hidden those logics for us. Okay. When it will reverse the UI policy actions? Reverse the effects of UI policy actions. But when the conditions evaluate to false. When this will happen, guys?
Only
When the
when it is
condition
false.
evaluate to false. And here you can see the conditions is showing in the bold color. Bold, which means it is referring to this field. this conditions field. When this will happen, when it will reverse this, actually see, mandatory true visible true means what? On hold reason mandatory true visible true means what? It will make it mandatory and it will show the field, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What if mandatory false and visible false means? It will remove the mandatory and it will hide the field, right? So reverse the effects of UI policy actions when this condition evaluate to false. When this condition evaluate to false. Now you tell me, according to this form, is this condition evaluating to true or it is evaluating to false? Pay attention here. Status is running on hold is the condition. According to this form, is it evaluating to true or is it evaluating to false?
True.
Leveling to true.
It is evaluating to true because what is the condition here? Status is running on hold. And here also I given it as status as running on hold. So it is evaluating to true. If it is evaluating to true, if this condition is evaluating to true, it will do what you are asking to do. What you are asking to do? If this condition is evaluating to true, make the on hold mandatory and visible. It is doing that, right?
Yes.
Now let's pay attention. Now I change the value. Now you see the condition. What is the condition? Status is running on hold. What I given in the status here?
State. Training in progress.
Running on progress. Is this condition evaluating to true or is it evaluating to false?
False.
It is evaluating to false. If it evaluate to false, what happens? This reverse if false will execute because when the condition evaluate to false, in this case the condition evaluated to false, right? Yes or no? In this
Yes.
condition, the condition evaluated to false. Then what it will do? It will reverse the effects of UI policy actions, which means if it is true, it will make it as false. If it is false, it will make it as true. So what is happening now? Now the condition is evaluating to false. Since it is evaluating to false, it is reversing the effects of UI policy actions, which means it will make it mandatory false and visible false. On hold reason, mandatory is false and visible is false. See, if the field is mandatory, you can't hide the field. So that's why you should be first removing that mandatory, then only you should hide. Okay. In the same way, if the field is mandatory, you can't make it read only because mandatory is the dominant part for the read only and visible. If it is mandatory, you can't hide. You need to remove the mandatory, then only you can hide. Okay. Everyone understood how this else part is taking care now.
Yes. Yes.
It's because of this reverse if false only. It is taking care. Imagine if this reverse if false is not there. If I uncheck it, then it won't work like that. See? Then it won't work like that. I unchecked it. Normally, that will be taken care. Now let's say, see. Now if I try to, it won't go. See, is it hiding now? No.
No.
Because you told the system if the status is running on hold, make it on hold isn't mandatory and visible. It is doing that. But if it is not running on hold, you're not telling else part here because I unchecked the reverse if false. For that, what you need to do, you need to unnecessarily create one more UI policy. What I need to do, I need to unnecessarily create one more UI policy, keeping a condition status is not running on hold. Let me show it to you quickly though. Consider if this reverse if false is not there. Consider, imagine ServiceNow is not providing this reverse if false. Then what I need to do, I need to create two UI policies to achieve this requirement. One is to, if the status is running on hold, do this. For the else part, the if part is covered here. For the else part also I need to write a one more thing. If that reverse if false is not there, I'll just give it as test. Anyway, I'm going to delete this. So status is not training on hold. What do you mean he's not training on hold? Apart from training on hold, including everything, none. Training started, training in progress, training completed, everything. Okay. So it will execute when the status is running on hold. It will execute when the status is not running on hold. Here also I need to remove this reverse if false or else it will work. So if this reverse if false is not there, I need to simply create these kind of things. Two UI policies. Then I need to select on hold reason here. I need to make mandatory false, visible false, unnecessary. Now you see. I know I'm going fast here, but just wanted to show you how it is working. Now you see I refresh the page now. Always refresh the page. Now I'm selecting the status as running on hold. Okay. Now this UI policy is executing. Remove this reverse if false condition. It was not there. Imagine service now has not given. See, status is running on hold, right? So this condition is satisfying, right? This UI policy is satisfying this condition. So what it is doing, it is making it mandatory true, visible true. On hold reason as mandatory true, visible true, which is working fine. Let's say I'm not selecting status as running on hold. Then what is happening? This UI policy is not executing. This UI policy, the other UI policy which I created now, status is not running on hold. It is working, right? It is matching the condition because it's not running on hold. So you're telling the system on hold reason should be visible false and mandatory false. So if that reverse if false is not there, unnecessarily you need to create two UI policies. Getting?
Yeah, okay.
So because of that, you no need to. It is also helping us in the maintenance perspective. If you see, you no need to do a lot of maintenance here. Everyone understood what is how the else part is taking care, because many people won't realize this. Even very sad to say, even the experienced people who are in the market now, they also don't know what is this reverse if false and how it is happening. They'll simply go and do it. That's a bad thing. Now, let's read it loud and clear. Can anyone read it loud and clear? Okay. So can I take 10 minutes extra today?
Sure,
Will
Vijay.
it work?
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to complete this and I don't want to complete in a hurry also. So what they are telling, if selected means what? If this global checkbox is checked to true. If selected means what? If this global checkbox is checked to true, the UI policy, which means this UI policy, what you are writing, will apply to all the form views. They are telling form views, guys. They are not telling list view, table view, and form view. Within the form only there will be views, right? We discussed. We created a view. Yes.
Self-service they use different kind of ways.
If selected the UI policy, if this global checkbox is checked to true, this UI policy will applicable on all the form views. Otherwise, the UI policy is view specific. If you uncheck it, it will run only on one view. If you check it, it will run on all the views. Let's do one thing. Let's go to form layout. We created two views, if you remember. Let's bring the self-service view also. In the self-service view also, I'll bring that on hold reason. I didn't keep this on hold reason because I just created now. Okay. What this sentence is trying to say, if this global checkbox is checked to true, this is important. They might ask you in the interview also, what is the global checkbox? In the client scripts, they'll say, and in your UI policies also, they'll say, because it's the same concept. Okay, if the global checkbox is checked to true, let me switch my view to self-service. Now, in which view am I? I was in self-service view. Is this UI policy running on self-service view also or no?
Yes.
Yes, it's done.
It's running, right? Because it's working. Yes? Okay. Let me switch to default view. I was, from the beginning, we are in default view only. Is it UI policy running in default view also? No.
Yes, Vijay.
So it is running on both the views. So what this is telling, if this global checkbox is checked to true, if this global checkbox is checked to true, no matter how many views you are having within the form, you can have 10 views or 20 views, this UI policy will run on all the views. If this global checkbox is checked to true, within the form, how many views are there, this UI policy will be applicable on all the views. Is it clear? No. Okay. This part is clear for everyone. If this global checkbox is checked to true, it will applicable to all the form views. I just showed you. Otherwise means what? If you uncheck it, then it will work only for one view. The UI policy is view specific. If you uncheck it, it will work only for one view. Okay? Clear? No.
Yes, Vijay.
Only one view it will work. If you check it, it will work for all the views. If you uncheck it, it will work only for one view. So in this case, I unchecked it and I didn't given any view name. If you uncheck it and if you don't give any view name, system will treat you should give it in the default view. I was in default view now, right? I told you how can you distinguish between the default view and other views. You don't see the view name here. Now if I refresh the page, Now what happens? This UI policy will work only on the default view. Now you see, it is working here. Yes or no?
Yes.
I was in default view now. That's why it is working. Okay. Let me switch to self-service view. Can you tell me, is it working here? No. It's not working. You see? It should be hidden. It is not hiding. It should be mandatory and visible. It's not doing that. So, if the global checkbox is checked to true, no matter how many views you are having, it will work on all the form views. If you uncheck it, it will work only in one view. Okay. If you uncheck it and leave the view name empty, it will work on the default view. Okay. But I want this UI policy to run only on the self-service view, not on the default view. Okay. I want this UI policy to run on the self-service view, not on the default view. Then you can select the self-service view because you don't see the default view. If you make it empty, system will treat it as default actually. Now what happens? This UI policy, where it will run?
No, self-service.
Only in the
Self-service.
self-service view, not in the other views. Tell it confidently every time. You don't tell it like a doubtful way. Just tell it confidently. Now you see, is it working here? No. Is the UI policy running here or not?
Yes.
It is working here. Okay. So because you told the system it should work only in the self-service view. Let me switch the view. Let me switch the view to default view. Is it working here?
No, it's
No.
not working.
No,
No,
Vijay.
it's not working. Okay. So that is what we are saying. That is what these people are trying to say. So if this global checkbox is checked to true, it will be by defaultly checked to true, no matter how many views are there. In this case, we have only 2 views, but let's say there are 20 views also. This UI policy will run on all the views. Okay. If you uncheck it, it will work on only one view. So in this case, if you uncheck it and leave the view name empty, it will work on the default view. Only for default view. If you leave it empty, it will work on the default view. If you give the view name, it will run on that. That's it. Okay. I hope this is clear for everyone. Global checkbox.
Yes,
That
Vijay.
Yes,
might
yes.
come in an interview. That's why reverse if false won't come. But normally people will ask what is the global checkbox, and they will tell you the functionality. What if I want you to run the client script or UI policy only in one view? Then what will you do? You need to tell. You need to uncheck the global checkbox. So please remember this global. Okay. I'll tell you this concept when I'm explaining you the client script, guys. Maybe from day after tomorrow. Then I'll tell you this concept, but not today because we will discuss this on load and on change for more than 3 days in the client script. There I'll cover this topic. Okay, I'll come back here again at that time, but not here. Okay, not in this class, but we'll cover everything what you're seeing in the form. You will cover this one. Can anyone read it loud and clear? The last one.
Tables that extend the specified table inherit this here.
What do you understand from this?
So whenever we create this UI policy to one of the parent table, and if we are using the parent table, I mean, if there is any child table uh, aligned with the parent table, the UI policy will be applicable to that
Let's
child
say I
table.
check this.
To this
I
check.
check this checkbox.
Yes.
So for which you are telling it will also applicable for the child table, right?
Yes.
For which child table it will apply? Because what is the parent table here?
Snow batches.
Snow batches.
Okay, good. See, this table is in bold, which means it is referring this table. Okay. So what the system is telling, table that extends the specified table inherit this UI policy. It will be by default unchecked. Okay. By default it will be false. If you check it, what the system is telling, for this no batches table, since you given the table as no batches here, for this no batches table, if there are any child batches, I mean if there is any child tables, whatever table you have selected here, if the table is having any child tables, okay, if the table is having any child tables, what does that mean? Whatever fields are there in this parent will also go there, right? So if you want the same UI policy to run there, you simply check this inherit checkbox. So let me just tell you, let's go to child batches quickly. We created a on hold reason now, actually just now we created, so it won't it will be coming here also, but it won't come in the form layout. Let's bring that I'm in child batches, not in the snow batches. I was in the child table of the snow batches. We created this field on the snow batches, not on the child batches today only. Yes. This is the child batches table, not the snow batches table. Do you see the functionality is working here? No,
No.
it is not working here because I didn't written the UI policy on the child batches only. So, but let's say you want the same functionality to work here also. So what we'll do, we will create a UI policy, new UI policy. Yeah, we create a new UI policy. We'll give it as child batches table. We'll add the same condition. So instead of doing that, you just simply click on inherit checkbox. So what this will do, if this no batches is having any child tables, so we have a child table that is child batches, it will also work there if this inherit checkbox is checked to true. So you no need to create one more UI policy for that. See, ServiceNow is trying to you know what the terminology maintenance. It is reducing the maintenance if you pay attention, because reverse if false or inherit will is decreasing the number of records that we create in the UI policy table. See, if I refresh the page now, it will also work in the child batches table. See, it is working in the child batches table. But I didn't return the UI policy on the child batches. I written the UI policy on the snow batches, not on the child batches. But it is running here also. Why? Because of this inherit checkbox. If you check this inherit checkbox, whatever UI policy you are rating, if this table, whatever table you have given here, if that table is having any child tables, this UI policy will also be applicable there if you check this inherit checkbox. Clear, everyone? No.
Yes, yes.
Clear.
Everyone understood this, right?
Yes, sir.
See, nobody will ask you these things in the interview. They'll ask you what is UI policy. You need to tell what is UI policy. Why we use UI policy? To make a field mandatory, read-only, and visible. We use UI policy. It will run on the client side. I'll tell you tomorrow what do I mean it will run on the client side and what do you mean it will run on the server side tomorrow. We'll see. Okay. And key points that you need to remember in UI policy: global checkbox. If the global checkbox is checked to true, it will applicable for all the form views. If it is unchecked, it will work on only one view. Inherit, whatever table you are giving, if the table is having any child tables, whatever things you are writing, that can be UI policy or client script, it will also work for the child tables, not only for the parent table. Reverse if false. If this condition is not evaluating to true, if this condition is evaluating to false, then it will reverse the effects of UI policy action. Clear? No.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Any doubts, anyone? There can be any silly doubt, don't hesitate to ask.
Vijay, I have one small doubt. Like
Yeah.
in the last checkbox, inherit.
Yeah.
Like with this checkbox, so if we check it,
Hmm.
it will be applicable to all the
All the
tables.
child tables, yes.
Yeah. So what if I want only to particular child table, it should be applicable and it should not be applicable to all.
Yeah, then you need to write a reverse one. So let's say, for example, we have a snow batches table. This snow batches is having three child tables. Imagine one is child batches one, and the other one is child batches two, and the other one is child batches three. Right? You want
Yeah.
only that you have policy to applicable only for the child batches one,
Yeah.
not for child batches two and child batches three.
Yeah.
In that case, what you can do, you don't check this checkbox. You don't check
Okay.
this checkbox. Create a new UI policy for the child batches one. Okay. But
Okay.
but let's imagine the same scenario. Now we have a snow batches. We have a snow batches table, and this snow batches is having three childs: child batch one, child batch two, child batch three. This time, I want the same UI policy to run on child batch one also and child batch two also, but not on child batch three.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you simply check this checkbox. Create one more UI policy on child batch 3. Child batch 3, I'm telling, not on child batch 1 and 2. Child batch 3, keeping a condition. Status is training on hold, then you simply make this mandatory false and visible false and uncheck this reversive false. So what happens? You're decreasing. See, it depends how many UI policies you are creating. You should think in such a way we should maintain. We should not create more records actually in the UI policy table.
Yeah.
In that way, you need to think. See, if the majority is, let's say there are 10 tables and in that 8 tables you want this, simply check this and write 2 more UI policies to, not affect that issue there. It should not affect that. But let's say only for 2 tables you want and other 8 tables you don't want, don't check it. So it depends. You need to think in such a way, it should not impact our this thing. The same applies for global also. Let's say we have 10 views. I want this one only 3 views. 3 separate views, not for other 7 views. You should do the same thing. So your thinking should always be in such a way, maintenance should be less. Let's say in future they are enhancing this request. Now they are telling not only when you select status as running on hold, I also want with the amount paid, with the on hold reason, I also want amount paid should be mandatory and it should be visible. They might tell it. So you will be unnecessarily going to all the UI policies and again add this new thing. So you should think in the maintenance perspective, like you should have less records created. In that way, you should think whenever a solution. I hope you understood what I said, or am I fast?
Yes, Vijay, it's clear.
Yes, Vijay.
Okay.
Thanks, Vijay.
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. Any other questions? Okay, if you have any questions, we can also discuss it tomorrow. Uh, Tomorrow at the same time, guys, 8 o'clock. Thanks for your time. Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thanks.
Thank you.